Well, it's 7 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street, Swan River, Manitoba, this 13th day of January 2026 at 7 p.m. Present this evening, Reeve, Gade, Councillors Byron, Zbirun, McGregor, Carrie, Blosha, Terry, Neely, Brian, Burick, and Brad Kushniryk. Our CAO, Kristi, Ronnquist, is with us. Our videographer, Jeremy R Bergen, is here. We have at least one person in the gallery, and we have our loony out because the CAO and I have placed a bet when we get to the general check listing. Just saying, you know it's coming.
I know it's coming.
Who voted for Carrie?
Oh gosh, we'll start in at number 2. Be it resolved, the agenda for the regular meeting of council held this 13th day of January 2026 shall be adopted as presented. Someone should move that. Councillor Neely, I see Councillor McGregor in a second. Any additions or changes to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Let's go to number 3, adopting the minutes. Be it resolved, the minutes of the regular council meeting held December 23rd, 2025 be adopted as presented. Does someone wish to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, and to second it, Councillor Zbirun. Copy of the minutes are attached to the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review them? Were there any errors or omissions found? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. We don't have a formal public works report tonight. I'll probably cover some of that off in my report a little later on. So we'll go to 8.1 general checks. Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General checks number 21035 to 21067 in the amount of $101,640.91. And pre-authorized debit number 2025-047 to 2025-049 in the amount of $5,910.12 for a grand total of $107,551.03. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, who would like to second it? Councillor Burick. Questions or comments? Councillor Blosha, if you want to start us off, it costs me $1. I'm ready for that.
Okay, let's go down to 21040.
See if that's the one in question.
And then 24, that would be in that column 2489.
Okay, so 2-1.
Is that the one you bet on?
That's one, I picked that one out this morning too.
Better be.
Really nice.
How many employees?
4-0. Yes, I'll pass the $1 over now. That is the check in question.
What the heck?
Is that winter stuff?
So you're wondering about the gloves on there?
No. I want the coveralls.
So the coveralls, our dear Public Works folks indicated that they needed coveralls for the safety and operation of the municipality. So that is coveralls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 operators. Well, one of them's not an operator, one of them's a landfill attendant.
Are these insulated?
These are insulated, lined, really nice coveralls apparently. Yeah. They have coveted that they will not sell these on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. They will use these for their job. Unlike last time. That is what the expense says. Okay. What was the second check?
Put another $1 on the table.
I just wondered, the 21053, it says heater repairs.
So this is shop heater repairs. Let's see what it says. 2 Fasco inducer blowers for $15.50. 1 something high temp silicone, or 1 tube high temp silicone. 5 feet of 4-inch something, 3 feet of 3 elbows. Look at unit heaters, repair venting, order inducers, install 2 inducers. Labor of $441. And this is all at the Swan River shop, from what I understand. So
okay,
the
so
heater
most
was broken.
I
think it was both heaters.
Really 2,000 of it was parts then.
1550, 1641 is parts.
1,800
And 440
plus
whatsoever.
taxes. Oh, taxes again.
Okay.
On there later, I guess.
Oh, and here's the other one. the first one that goes with it is the other line. It says respond to fan not running on one unit heater, both unit heaters working cycled on and off. But then, I don't know if that's December. Oh, that was a week after they did the repairs. Which check next?
I'm good.
Councillor Burick.
21056.
056. This is surveying for a very deep ditch.
Is that drainage one we're talking about?
Sure is.
Are you gonna discuss that later on? Or is there anything to discuss later on or no?
I don't know if there's a whole lot of update. Last I heard the survey's done, it's being reviewed by the Water Resources Department, kind of looking at it to see what it says and come up with some sort of recommendations.
Okay.
We don't have anything, officially back on here's the plan yet.
Cause I was wondering when this was gonna happen. I see it's done, so I mean,
It is done.
I thought they might have some requests to, but no, like you say, they're probably dealing with it now. It'll come.
I have one at this computer check, the first one on there, number 21035. Department of Finance, the debenture sewer.
That's the sewer line debenture for Benito.
Was that from a repair?
No, well, a long time ago. So this was when they replaced a sewer line many years back and took a loan out.
Oh,
This is the loan payment. And I believe this is the last loan payment. It's retired now after this. It's been there for quite a while, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. And it was charged only to people that had sewer service
okay.
in Benito. So we collected separate tax money for it every year. It was supposed to be paid before the end of the year. The check certainly is dated the end of the year.
Yeah.
There might have been some issues with how long it took to get there in the mail, but it has gone. Anything else? Cost me $1 so far. Hearing nothing else, we'll call the question on the resolution. Oops, those in favor? That's carried. Staying in finance land for a while, let's go to indemnities, 9.2. Be resolved, the council of Municipality of Swan Valley West.
Wait a second. You missed 8.2 is payroll checks.
Well, it was until whatever's happened to this.
Yeah, because indemnities is 8.3.
8.3 or 9.3?
No,
8.3.
8.3, 8.2 is payroll.
Oh, okay, I see, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, just give me a
It's
second
okay.
here, I'll see if I can get this to come back. There's 8 down there. Come on. Sometimes all that leaves a little to be desired. Okay, well, let's do payroll. It's not quite where it's supposed to be, but we'll get the resolution done. Be resolved, the Council of Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Payroll payments number 1056 to 1071 in the amount of $32,808.87. And payroll payments 19106 to 19120 in the amount of $4,316.60 for a grand total of $37,125.47. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Burick, who would like to second? Councillor Kushniryk. Copy of both those batches of payroll are attached. Councillor Neely, you have questions.
But just a comment, and I'm sure there's a good explanation for it, but number 1062.
From what I understand, that is a payout of overtime.
Okay, that's
So
what I
there's
thought it
banked
might be.
overtime and then it was
It's just
pushed
that
through.
it's 80-90% higher than everything else, so just wondering.
From what I understand, that's what happened
Okay.
there.
I thought
Any
that
other
was-
questions? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That is carried. I won't bore you with what number we're going to, but we will go to indemnities.
You missed the payroll for the fire department though.
Yeah.
Is it in
Sorry.
here too someplace?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there
second
too.
attachment.
It's the second attachment in the same one you were just in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the second batch of payroll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
second batch of payroll.
Yes, so that's in the resolution, right? Because it's payroll payments, 1056 to 1071.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
19106 to 199
It was to get a,
Okay, yes. When the firefighters are paid, then their life will be good. Okay, indemnities. Be it resolved, the council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Indemnities for December 2025, number 4756 to 4764, the amount of $10,088.54. Someone wishes to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, who would like to second? Councillor Zbirun. Any discussion on the indemnities? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. Whatever number you might think it is, the budgetary control report for 2025. So this is getting very close to finished. I have a paper copy of it. It's a little easier for me to see it on paper because my screen is so small. There is obviously a surplus at the end of this, but a few things to note. What does not show in that surplus is capital expenditures because they've been moved out to the capital account. So if you take capital expenditures off, that mower, that roadside disc we got, the little bit we put into the splash park that was loaned to them, we're probably around $500,000 surplus. That is after we made the payments to the reserves for machinery replacement was the $250,000 was the big one. There's some other smaller ones there as well. Most things are in. I know of about a $40,000 invoice that has just arrived for the crack sealing in Benito that's still from 2025. So that'll be coming out. Otherwise, I think we've captured all the gravel crushing, all the hauling, all of that I believe is in here now. So there should only be a few more small invoices to come to affect that number, and then that should be our finalized 2025 number. So that surplus is coming from the no GIS as part of it.
Right, so overall, we're gonna have about a $300,000 surplus.
Probably in that neighborhood, and as you'll see later in the meeting, we got spanked for assuming we knew really closely the 1 year,
Yeah,
and we're a little bit wrong.
I'm just thinking, we gotta buy a grader, it might come in handy.
It may well. Yeah. I've also been, when we get to the end of 2025, we're supposed to be done 2024, obviously a year ago, but these things happen. So we've been going through 2024 and making sure it's pretty close to right as well. It also has a surplus in it. And this year we had intended to draw a surplus from 2024 into this year of $181,000, but given the balance that's sitting here, we did not draw that surplus forward.
So where does it go now?
It's just sitting in accumulated surplus, but it could be drawn into this 2026 if we needed to for a grader. You know, it's basically when they get the audit done, it will become general reserve type money.
Can I ask about one line though?
Sure.
5530 400 113. That's the Durban equipment fuel line. Explain that one.
530 400 113. So we have been working on this for a couple of weeks to try and clarify for 2026 how this fuel is working. So we had intended all the fuel to go into one fuel line. We budgeted $250,000.
Yeah.
That is not what's been happening in the office. So they have been putting some fuel in that Swan River equipment fuel line, 121,000. They've put some fuel in Public Works vehicle fuel. They've also put some fuel in Durban equipment fuel, which isn't really Durban equipment because that's any fuel that's delivered to Durban, even if it goes in the slip tank and is taken to a Swan River grader. If you add all those numbers up, we don't get to $250,000. But then it became apparent some of the fuel was put into the repair and maintenance lines for the Swan River graders. So where they filled up their grader directly at a pump and entered their unit number, those invoices then appeared on repair and maintenance for that unit number. So the repair and maintenance lines are artificially high. So I have requested that we stop doing that and put the fuel on the fuel line. And I have been promised that starting January 1st, 2026, fuel will all appear on one line. So we can actually see it in one place.
So this year, are we around the 250 then?
We really don't know without going through every single line on those repair and maintenance. My guess is we're a little under, but probably not under by much. Probably 10 or 20 under at the most, because fuel prices have come down again. You know, we were kind of budgeting on them being a little higher, but we're certainly not under as much as this looks like we are.
Yeah.
There's a similar thing for the operator wages. There's one line where we have budgeted, that's 530, 100, 110. Budgeted $977,000 for wages, and we've only spent 633. But then the foreman wages, video operator wages, are all split out here into different things. And those all have to get added back together. And so again, the wages are supposed to be fixed so they show up in one place like they're intended to. But that's a work in progress here, just as we're finishing off 25, and then for every invoice that comes now, starting this year, to make sure they get in the right spots.
That little number over to the side on this, I can't read the headings on mine, so
The farthest over to the right,
that's,
it's a percentage of variance. So for some things it's meaningless. If it was budgeted at 0 and it has a thing, it's humongously big. But it's supposed to show you what percent you're over or under. So on something like the fuel, it's showing that we're under by 35%.
yeah,
That's what it's trying
that's
to
what
tell
that
us.
is, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe
And
what
did
was.
we ever get reimbursed for Green Team?
I believe we did. Do you remember?
I don't remember seeing it anywhere, so.
2667 only, I
I
think.
think we did.
It's in there, I saw it.
It should be in the first couple pages.
Yeah.
Other income,
I'm sure it's 2667.
Okay. So sure not very.
Hometown Green Team,
Oh, yeah.
2667. $2,667. We're only out 6.71%.
but yeah, that's all we got from them.
Okay.
Other questions? Now that you have this almost completed 2025 for homework, you need to start flipping through it so we can get to budgeting in a few weeks. Start looking for things you want to make changes to, suggestions, differences and such, because this is a fairly accurate document now. And this will be kind of our starting point as we look through where we're at on all of these things and what we should change. So we probably won't really get into that until February, but sooner the better to start thinking about.
Go over it line by line and take our time.
Yeah,
February is only 2 meetings away.
I know. Exactly.
One big one in between.
Yeah.
Anything else on that? Let's move on. What numbers? You have those all as nines.
9-1.
I have them all as tens. I'm just gonna refresh mine and see. Yeah, see, it's moved all of this stuff around. So the payroll got to be there and the finance is all in the wrong spot. My mouse got stuck. Okay, well, we know that you folks are seeing them all as 9-1 and such. I'm seeing this 10-1, but they're still in the same order. So we'll start with discussion item 1.
I'm 10-1. What are you, Carrie?
9-1.
Refresh yours.
Yeah, if you refresh,
That,
you'll
that
see that
Alex
it's
one on the
10-1.
bottom got added later. And it's moved numbers.
Okay, so discussion item number
10-1 now?
Yes.
Subdivision public hearing date. Whereas the owner of Northeast Quarter Section 23528 West has made application to subdivide a 12.72 acre parcel that includes the existing yard site and also application for variance to allow a non-farm dwelling over the maximum 10 acres. Therefore be it resolved, the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West set a public hearing date of February 10th, 2026 at 7:15 p.m. in order to hear from those who may be opposed to or supportive of the proposed subdivision and variance. Who would like to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, someone to second. Councillor Neely. A copy of the little notices there. All we're doing tonight is set a date. We'll be back here then to discuss the actual application. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 10.2, building permit summary. So this is a summary of the 2025 building permits. We just put it all together in one spot so you can see it easier. We're not passing any resolutions on that tonight, but that's what happened in the municipality this year. Into 10.3 we go, the Q4 workplace health and safety agenda and minutes. Copy of that is attached. A few highlights out of the meeting, you'll see the smoking thing on here where we are working on getting all smoking signs up and making sure we understand that. There's ongoing discussion about those pre-trip inspection reports. That's still open, working on that. Water treatment plant, we're having issues there obviously with the outside and the ice. So the sand supply is supposed to be there. I'm not sure if it has arrived yet. It hadn't the other day. A little bit of corrosion issues there. Doing some cleaning is planned for the water treatment, the sink and cabinet, safety manual. And there's also been some discussion about the Swan River shop. So when it got warm, it began leaking again in quite a spectacular fashion. So I went over there and looked at it for a while. And it's leaking. There's metal on the roof inside. And so the water's coming down that metal to the sides, hitting the little edging and then dripping. Dripping on the tools, dripping on all sorts of everything. I've asked a lot of questions about does it leak when it rains? And I think if there's a monsoon it leaks, but otherwise it doesn't. So I'm not entirely sure it's the roof leaking so much as it's condensation. I'm still suspicious this is condensation getting above that roof and frosting, and then melting out and running back down. But it continues to be an issue, and we're really going to need to get to the bottom of it before the building rots down. We've had people over there, I think a couple times, look at the roof, say there's not much they can do for the roof, that it needs a bunch of work inside, which I assume they're trying to tell us is vapor barrier issues. I saw some of it, someone has put spray foam along the edge, and there it doesn't leak anymore. But it's not spray foam everywhere. Wow, I know.
Yeah.
But there's a gap of about this much between the inner roof and the walls that seems to go straight up in over there. So if that's really a gap, then it'd be pretty easy for hot humid air to be going up the sides and creating frost up there and then coming back down later.
Warm, it melts.
Yeah. So it seems to be as soon as it gets warm out it melts. But like -4 is enough for it to start melting and the water running in there, even though there's no water running outside.
Which, is that on the whole wall or above a door or something?
It's above the door on the one side.
The man door?
The man door. And then on the other side, it's above the tool bench for about 15 feet
So this is dripping inside.
inside. And there's a little bit of metal flashing, so the roof comes down and hits, and there's a little bit of a channel there, and it's dripping off the channel and down, so it drips about that far away from the wall,
Okay.
which is just enough to hit the workbench. So it's all
Right.
hitting the workbench and running across the workbench, and then onto the floor. So something's going to have to,
Keep the hot air from getting in there.
yeah. If that's really what it is. I was looking around, I couldn't see like an access hatch or anything, so it'd be nice to get up in there in the winter and see if that's what the problem is. Is it full of frost? Is that what's happening? But there doesn't seem to be a great way to go check without cutting a hole in something. But we need to figure this out because it can't be good. It's a wood building full of shavings. If it keeps getting wet like that, it's gonna be shock time.
This is the old shop, the door above the old shop, or is it
Yeah, the one with the graders.
the door on the north side?
Yes. I'm gonna see if we can get Public Works to figure out a plan there, at least get somebody there to look at it when it's
Somebody
happening.
there tear it apart and have a look.
Yeah,
That's the only way you're gonna find out.
exactly. Anything else on health and safety tonight? The Brown Bridge is on here just as a note. We do have 2 weeks from now, that discussion. I'm going to, before then, condense this whole big thing down into a simpler version that we have for the meeting that night that kind of says, here's the 3 options we have, here's what they're gonna cost, what do you think? So obviously I know some people have been talking about this, asking questions of councillors, so, encourage them to come to the meeting. The more people that come, the more opinions we get. I've heard from a couple people already, some say we don't need that bridge, and the next one says we have to have that bridge. So the more of that we can learn, the better.
I saw the post, like the post that you put on Facebook there, and I think there was something like 19 shares, like a lot of sharing of it, and I just want to know, are you putting in the paper too?
Yes.
It's in today's
It is in
paper.
today's paper, okay. I don't get the papers. Okay, so, and I guess phone calls, phone anybody who's
Yeah.
neighbors or like not neighbors, but within that vicinity. And yeah, should be a good, good meeting.
Well, we have a bridge 2 miles either way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be a good meeting and should have a lot of, hopefully they speak out and a lot of input. Good.
Let's go to 10.5. So there's some quotes here for snow buckets and other stuff. We have been moving some snow, and we moved that with a front-end loader, which isn't necessarily that great at loading snow because it doesn't hold very much in the front-end loader. So it's a lot of scoops. So we started out here to get some idea of what was available for snow buckets, and then we also looked at some other things. So the first quote on the list is the cost of snow gates. The town uses those in Swan River to try and stop snow from going in driveways. So they're apparently $15,000 each and would be mounted on graders. This would be for Benito if we chose to do it so we didn't follow along to clear the driveways after. Typically what we've been doing is we plow with the grader and then we go with the tractor or the bobcat when we had one and just scoop out the big, any place we leave a big drift, we scoop it back out so people don't have that in their driveway. So they quoted those. Into quote 2, we get into the actual snow buckets. So there's a couple options there. One is $3,100, one is $3,900. So they're both from Dionco. And the theory here is that they're for different tractors. So the bigger tractor could take the bigger bucket, whereas the smaller tractor would have to have the smaller bucket. So that's on the list. Quote number 3 shows us yet another bucket. So that must be the one for the smaller tractor then. It's $2,500. And quote number 4 is for Bobcat with a snow bucket. Because people can dream. I already told them we weren't buying one of those tonight. What's the feeling on snow buckets? Would folks be okay with us buying something?
You need something in town there.
That would be so much better.
Yeah.
Lot less trips, less movement.
I don't feel like the first one is needed though. It's not the gates,
Certainly not tonight.
no.
That would be something we'd have to discuss a little more.
Yeah, but I mean the buckets, yes.
We might need 4 of them gates. People keep phoning me.
know.
Left a berm in my driveway. I gotta get out there and shovel it out. Thank God you got the road cleared off, you know, but.
So the snow buckets are all below our purchasing thing. We could just buy them, but we kind of wanted council's opinion rather than just buying them. So is everybody okay with us getting one to use in Benito and Kendall?
Yeah,
and
we're just
such?
buying one, right?
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
idea would be to buy one.
Did we check the local to see if they built?
I don't know if we have. We can find out though. I'll see what the option is for that. Are you thinking egg shoe?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure we check with them first before we do anything. Yeah, if they could build one even for the
Yeah.
same price, it's
Yeah.
better to do it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll make sure we do that.
That's for the Benito
Benito, we
tractor.
do, yeah, I don't think we do the Benito, or if we do one of the bigger tractors from the mower, but something. We did the Kenville Street as well. This is totally rabbit trail, but a guy from Highways came to see me the other day, off the record, which I'm sure he's thrilled and we'll be talking about in this meeting, to thank us for doing Benito and Kenville Streets, because I haven't got to them yet. And they're short so many people, they don't think they will get to them. So he thinks we should be paid for it. So he says in the past, there used to be some, back and forth where we'd do that for them and they'd do something for us and we'd both kind of not bill each other and life would be good. But he says they have a new supervisor that says absolutely no way in heck. We're not doing anything for them. We're not thanking them anyway. They shouldn't have moved the snow. They should have left it there. It's not their snow. So we'll have to work on that a little bit yet.
You know, there's a bad spot if we're gonna pick out Road 200, when you're coming from the east, heading, from the west heading east, you come to the highway and you know how the trees are bad there, eh? Well, the snow is so bad there, to get onto, you have to back up to take a run
Oh,
into there, eh?
Is that during them bad storms?
Right now, it's right now, and
Oh,
it's
it's-
melting and it's
It's piled up.
piling up there, eh?
Mushy.
okay.
Skid steer would fix that up in a hurry.
Especially if it wasn't full of water.
We never did try to start that rascal, eh? Still waiting.
Well, it seemed like the right decision at the time. Don't do anything to it until insurance, because if insurance is buying it, there it is, have at it, without us having to direct anything.
We need to talk about that in camera.
Okay. You add it to this remember? Perfect. So we will check for local snow bucket first, and otherwise we will procure one someplace else. That works for everybody?
An 8-foot would likely be nicer, but it depends on the size of the tractor. and
Yeah,
how
we'll try to make sure we don't get one that's too big.
No, one to fit that tractor that they're doing with the snow with, mostly. You know.
Maybe what, a 7-foot would likely work.
Even a 6 foot would be way better than what they're using now. I think they got, what, a 5, if that, and
Six.
very little.
Well, something with some size and
Yeah.
some depth to it.
Okay, let's go to 10.6. So by explanation here, we have completed the audit. We had the audit here. We approved it for 2022. The issue is that on the cash-based accounting, we ran a deficit of $71,975. And that happened as kind of this huge convoluted issue. So that was the year that we bought that grader. And we looked at all of the accounting. The accounting showed there was enough cash there to do it. Everything looked good. So we bought the grader, plus we still put money into machinery reserve, like we had planned. But the insurance for the municipality was not showing on any of the expense lines. It was in the computer, but it was in the line that didn't show on the report. So because of that, what we were looking at was wrong by $160,000. So when we did all that, we thought we had a small surplus left over, everything would be good, because it's illegal for us to run a deficit. Had we known the insurance wasn't in there right, we would have either not made as much a transfer into reserve or something, but we didn't. So when the audit's all done, we have a deficit. We're required to explain to the province of Manitoba why we have a deficit and how we're getting it back. So this is a resolution to do that. Whereas the financial audit shows an accrual surplus of $432,175, but shows a cash-based deficit of $71,975 due to requirements of the province of Manitoba for the municipality to report on a cash basis. And whereas in 2022, the cost of the municipal insurance was incorrectly recorded as a prepaid expense instead of a current year expenditure, and this error was not found until the audit was completed. And whereas council reviewed the cash balance and believed, due to the error, that there was sufficient cash on hand to process reserves, sorry, let me fix that word, to process reserve transfers, and subsequently transferred $250,000 to the greater replacement reserve. And whereas the transfer to our savings account combined with the corrected error resulted in a cash deficit in spite of enough taxes being collected to cover all expenses in the year, therefore be it resolved that the council confirms the cash deficit amount of $71,975 in the general operating fund for 2022, and be it further resolved the request that, and be it further resolved, what the heck happened there? Resolved that deficit recovery be borne by the general reserve and accumulated surplus. Is there someone that wishes to move the resolution? Councillor Kushniryk. Would someone care to second the resolution? Councillor Neely. Is everyone clear on what we're talking about here? Why this happened? I don't want there to be questions left. Any other discussion on it? Okay. Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 10.7. Whereas section 365(2) of the Municipal Act provides that council may in any year designate the immediately preceding year or any earlier year as the year for which properties, the taxes in respect of which are in arrears for the year, must be offered for sale by auction to recover the tax arrears and costs. Be it resolved the designated year for which properties in arrears be offered for sale by auction be 2025, meaning all properties with outstanding taxes of the year 2024 or prior. And be it further resolved that in accordance with section 363(1) of the Municipal Act, costs shall be the actual costs incurred by the municipality for each parcel listed for the tax sale, plus an administrative fee of $50 per roll as set forth in Manitoba Regulation 50-97. Be it further resolved, the tax sale be held September 17th, 2026 at 2 p.m. at the Municipality of Swan Valley West Council Chambers. Who would like to move the resolution? Councillor Burick, would someone like to second? Councillor McGregor. A couple notes, that $50 fee, you can tell has those things around it yet. We can remove that if you don't want to charge it. It's $50 more than it costs us to have it done for whatever time is used up in the office. But that's up to council if you wish to charge it or not. What is your wish on that? Leave it in or take it out?
I'll leave it in.
What have we done in the past?
It's kind of gone both ways depending on the year. It's another $50 for someone to have to pay, which is why sometimes we don't do it. You know, somebody's already having trouble paying their taxes and we ding them another $50 just because. But at the same time, it does use up a lot of time in the office.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It uses more
Yeah.
than $50 worth of time in
It
the
does.
office. I think you should leave it on.
Yeah.
Okay. I can also advise that the 15th, which is just 2 days from now, is the official day we are sending the tax sale list over for processing. So the office is spending some time this week chasing a few people that are on it. There's a few that are just, you know, a few dollars away and such that, like, my direction has been if we can find a way to avoid sending them to tax sale, let's avoid sending them to tax
This is the
sale.
2024 taxes.
Right.
It's nice that that chance is actually given, that it's like phone them and say like this is what's going on. It's better than just leaving it.
Well,
sending
we
it.
sent them letters in December, early December, so we're phoning through a few, and people are people. And so what I said to the office staff today is, I made those calls the 1 year here, and people never want to tell you bad news, right? So sometimes someone on the phone will say, oh yeah, I'll be in to pay it, even though they know they don't have the money to come in to pay it. And then they don't show up. So I said, like, be very clear. If you don't have the money, that's okay. We
Let's
need
talk
to
about it.
talk about it, because if we talk about it, we cannot charge you this $900 fee for going to tax sale. You know, so we have, there's one on the list, those $150. Let's find a plan. If that's $5 a month to avoid you paying $900, let's do anything we can to keep you from seeing that charge. The flip side is there's 1 or 2 lots that haven't had their taxes paid in years, but their taxes are only $1. So we're only owed $10. But the lot's abandoned and not being looked after. So we're going to send it to tax sale anyway, because then the lot will become something rather than just sitting there. But we're trying to be, you know, anybody that's will work with us at all, we'll get them out of tax sale yet this week so they don't get charged that $900. Because I just, you know, if you're already hard off to pay the money, another $900 doesn't help anything. So that's what we're up to. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. 10.8 is kind of in part with that. The tax service agreement is up, so this is us renewing the agreement. Whereas the Municipal Act requires the municipality to conduct tax recovery proceedings every year, whereas council of the municipality deems it to be in the municipality's best interest to hire Tax Service Inc. to manage tax arrears recovery on its behalf, now therefore is hereby resolved that the municipality of Swan Valley West hire Tax Service Inc. to manage tax arrears recovery on the municipality's behalf on a term of 3 years. Be it further resolved that the administrator be and is hereby authorized to sign the Tax Service Inc. engagement letter on behalf of the municipality. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, and I see Councillor Blosha to second it. So this is a 3-year agreement. Nothing has really changed from where we've done this the last 3 years, but the agreement and such is attached there for you. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 10.9, Urban Animal Control Report for December. Copy of that report is attached. You'll notice it's a little lengthy this time around. So we have the resolution to be resolved that the Urban Animal Control Report for December 2025 be received and approved for payment. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Kushniryk, who would like to second? Councillor Zbirun. So in the report, you will see that there is a call about a dog at large in Durban. It's been unplugging extension cords, and it pees on the doorstep. Now, as it turns out, the dog is a bit of a influencer, I suppose, because where it likes to pee is an area covered by a security camera. So the dog has been starring in a series of videos called Let's Pee on the Doorstep to see who sees. And quite a few of us see, because the video gets sent to the office and we all look at it. So, we've been working on that. The owner is reminded that they must keep the dog on their property and be on a leash when off the property. We received more video, spoke to the owner again, informing the dog was at large and on someone's property causing problems, the aforementioned P. Received more video of the dogs. Sometimes it's 2 dogs. Went to Durban to speak with the owner again a couple times, couldn't find anyone. Spoke to the reported owner of the second dog who claims she doesn't own that dog. Also spoke to the owner of the dog in the original complaint, suggested the dog needs to be tied up or kenneled in some way. The owner seemed unwilling to do anything about the complaint and said he would not confine his dog. I was informed that a provision of the bylaw penalties would be imposed for any future violations. There's additional documentations of violations of the bylaw. And in camera, you will note there's a section where we're going to inform you about fines that have been processed. You can bet it has something to do with that. Any discussion on that report? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? Did you? Okay, carried. Let's move to the rural animal control report. Be it resolved, the rural animal control report, a bylaw report for December 2025, be received and approved for payment. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely. Who would like to second? Councillor McGregor beat you by just a hair. In the rural report, a phone call regarding a complaint of dogs at large. This is dogs have been chasing livestock and chased them through a fence. Another complaint of dogs at large. Spoke with a ratepayer regarding dogs coming onto his property. Attended a farm where dogs were at large in a cattle pasture. One calf had been killed and dogs were eating the calf. We were not able to ultimately determine if the dogs killed the calf, but we do know they ate the calf. That one we talked about a little bit last meeting. And then there's been some office paperwork for photos and fines. More of those fines you will find discussed in camera. But you can bet they relate to dogs. Any discussion on this one? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. And the real fun begins. Let's go to 1011, Cat 160 grader repair. So the Cat 160 grader was out plowing snow, and then it would not shift into 3rd or 7th gear anymore. No, sorry, not 3rd or 7th. It's different numbers for the Cat 160. 3rd and 7th is the 880. About half the gears won't go anymore. They did manage to load it. They brought it back to the shop. They found filings in the transmission fluid. So prevailing wisdom is this needs a transmission rebuild or replacement. We have chased for days quotes on this to try and get some idea. There's a gentleman in Swan River willing to do the labor only, but he doesn't have a transmission. We'd have to buy a transmission from someplace, and then he would do the labor. Job Site Mechanical from Yorkton is quoting rebuilding our transmission. Their quote is $32,000 plus $7,000 labor, plus some shop supplies, quite a few of them actually. So their total with tax quote is $46,164. But note the line, once tore apart, we can notify you of any extras. So there could be more to come. That quote includes bearings, seals, friction discs, but if there's something weirdly broken in there, that will be added onto it yet. We have a quote from Tormont Cat. This would require the Cat. First one obviously to Yorkton, this one will go to Winnipeg for service. There they would rebuild our transmission. They have a very exhaustive list of parts here. With all in taxes, $70,025.38. I also asked for a quote for a drop-in replacement transmission instead of building ours. That transmission is a mere $80,915 for the transmission, plus labor and parts and such. So with tax, $104,631. So rebuilding ours obviously is cheaper. What are the thoughts of the group on Yorkton or Winnipeg, or keep looking? What do you want to do?
And who rebuilds ours again?
So we have options of Job Site Mechanical there in Yorkton. So we would haul the grader to Yorkton, or going to Cat, we would haul it to Winnipeg. We should be able to haul the grader ourselves. We've got the flat deck and stuff for it, so it's just a matter of doing it. But if we go to Winnipeg, obviously there's hotel rooms and such involved.
I say figure first option, I'd say, I don't know.
We have to put a tranny in our truck first.
Well, we possibly do.
What's that?
We may need to put a transmission in our truck before we can haul the grader. Little detail, but we'll get to that in the next item.
Are you serious?
Yes. I wouldn't joke about something like that.
No, I'm sure not.
Thoughts? What do you want to do?
Like with the other ones, it's probably a warranty, eh? With the other two?
There's probably something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't jump up and say there's a whole lot of warranty when you're rebuilding a transmission, but it'd be something. But it's not going to be great warranty. The drop-in, in theory, would have some sort of warranty on it, but you're
Well, that's what I'm
certainly
saying.
paying more for
That's
it.
what I'm saying, yeah,
Yeah.
you're paying more for it. My option would be the number one.
Number one is the Yorkton one, right?
Yeah.
It's probably going to end up cheaper.
Yeah,
know,
well,
even if there's some
there's
add-ons.
extra little things that gotta go in there, it's
Not
still.
22,000 or 24,000 or.
Another thing, when can it be done? Like, can it be done soon, or is it gonna sit there
Well,
for
I
6
think it
months?
could be done fairly soon. There is that little issue of needing the truck to haul it with. But, you know, if that's looking like it's gonna take a while, we just get somebody else to haul it there too.
83 North has.
Heck no.
They're busy.
You're not getting involved.
We'll get her up on that one of them lumber trailers.
Gary Eagle does that too.
Yeah, like if we could get someone to haul it for you too.
David Wheeler, all that good.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. I mean, more
No.
than what it costs us, you know, but it costs money, right? And then it being out of province, you may have to have other permits and stuff to do it, I don't know how that works.
So I'm hearing job site mechanical from one, or am I hearing that from others?
I agree with Brian for once.
Good job. Nice of you. He might have to give you the dollar back later.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So be it resolved, the council accept the quote from Job Site Mechanical for the repair of the transmission of the Cat 160 motor grader. Who'd like to move that? Councillor Burick, and I see Councillor Neely to second it. Any further discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. So on to the T800. Turns out third and seventh gear don't really work on that. Goes into them, then it comes back out and won't go no more. So they have tried, and I'm not the world's best mechanic, but there's the top piece that you change out. We've changed that, and that's not the problem. It's inside the transmission. So we could open the transmission and do like the very little next piece and put it all back together and see if it works. But really the chances of that are low. We probably just need to change the transmission. So we have a couple quotes here. One quote is from 5334731 Manitoba Limited, which you might know as Midnight Repair in Benito. So this is remove and replace transmission. Includes a transmission for $5,800. There's a core of $3,500 on that, but we're assuming we would get the core back, so that's why it's not showing there. And then some transmission fluid as well. So with taxes and everything else, we'd be $8,757. Quote number 2 is from Drive-In Heavy Duty. That is labor only. Does not include a transmission. I believe we have asked twice for that quote to include the transmission so we could compare apples to apples, but no quote was received for that.
Well, I guess we know where we're going.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Cause even the labor is about $1,100 more. Without the transmission.
That's in the Kenworth.
Yes.
We couldn't replace the transmission in a Chevy half ton for that.
No, I just did that. I'm well aware that cost.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh.
My son's half ton just got itself a transmission for $11,000.
Holy
How much?
smokes.
11,000 by the time we were done.
What's the truck worth?
$11,000 more than it used to be.
Yeah.
Take a zero off.
Well, his repair was 90,000 less than the new truck.
Okay, that's,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
That's a nicer way to put it.
wow.
Okay, so we have a resolution. I assume you're talking midnight repair is what you're suggesting? Okay. Be it resolved that council approve the quote for midnight repair for transmission replacement in the T800. Who would like to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, who would like to second? Councillor McGregor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried.
No, when can that training be fixed, you think?
I don't know.
I mean, that's gonna, like you say, that's gonna hold up the greater repair.
You know what you need to do is buy me a crystal ball, and I will put it right here, and I'll be able to manage it soon.
No, I'm just saying maybe
So
we should get.
my direction to Public Works is gonna be find out if it's a couple days, fine, otherwise get somebody else to haul the
That's
ground.
what
Yeah.
I'm asking for. That's
If
what-
it's gonna hold it up any amount, we'll just haul it some
Right,
other way,
yeah.
and then we can go get it back ourselves after.
Exactly, yeah, well, that's what I was looking for. Thanks.
1013. Now, this is easier than you might think because we have quotes here for turbocharger. This is Ralph's grader. So it's not currently using its turbocharger correctly. It's unclear if it's the actuator that's not correctly moving the turbo or if the turbo's broken so the actuator can't move it. In any case, there's been much discussion, much quoting. Pattison Agriculture quoted it because it's John Deere parts, but they're not sure they can actually get them. Brandt quoted it because they do have them and they're John Deere. And we were going to discuss tonight what we want to do with that. And then earlier today, the turbocharger arrived.
Oh,
I don't know how that happened either, but it's here now. So the answer is Brandt seems to have sent it to us. And Sean is going to install it in the next day or so. And we'll just do the work ourselves, so there'll be no additional labor cost. So that became more of a for information than anything else.
It's good.
well, it wasn't much of a difference, and like you say, if he couldn't get it anyway, fine.
1014, committee appointments. Now, we've been beating this one for a little while. Do we have a solution yet for the library board? That does not sound encouraging. Are there any other changes we wish to make to these committee appointments?
Are we switching the Benito Rec Center or no? Byron wants to stay on.
No use.
Yeah, that was switched. That should be shown as switched.
It doesn't show it's switched.
No, okay, we'll get that fixed. Anything else we want to change?
Going back to the library. Well, I guess I don't really want to get into it, but what is the problem?
With finding somebody or with the library?
No, with,
It's very different answers.
we're supposed
I
to
actually
have, we're supposed to have
someone
two
who-
people on there.
We were
right?
supposed to have three.
Three.
One member of council, two not members of council,
Two
but must be voters.
Must be one.
Must be qualified to vote in our election. So they don't have to live here, but they have to be able, like, they have to own property, they have to be a voter. That's the rule.
I thought of someone good, but I didn't ask them.
Oh, well, let's get them asked.
So we're trying to replace the temporary here, or what?
I actually
Yes,
thought of someone.
because the province has decided we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Okay.
Tell us in camera.
Mhm.
Okay. Put it on the
Okay.
in-camera list. Councillor Blosha is gonna tell us something. So the only change that we're making is the video rec center. We've already passed a resolution for that, so I'm not going to pass this resolution until we have an answer to the library thing. And then we'll pass it. I did receive more than a little bit of pressure from the town of Swan River Council a week or two back, demanding to know who the new library representative was. And I suggested that when we appoint someone in public, we'll tell them. And until then, it's not public yet.
Sounds good.
10:15. This came up a couple weeks ago. It's finally making it to the agenda now for some action. So I was speaking to Mr. Keller on behalf of a bunch of residents in Alpine that since the summer have trouble with their telephones. About half the time, they don't have telephones. There's no dial tone. They've been trying to get MTS to resolve this issue, and they're not seeming to do it. So they were wondering if council could apply a little pressure to Bell MTS to see if we couldn't get the repair process underway. So that's the purpose of the resolution tonight. Whereas numerous residents in the Alpine area have been losing access to their landline phones since the summer of 2025, and whereas without cell phone service in the area, the only way for residents to call 911 is using their landline phones, And whereas Bell MTS has not responded in a meaningful way to the concerns of the residents and has failed to correct the problem, therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West bring a complaint to the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission regarding the lack of service from Bell MTS. And be it further resolved, Council seek a mandatory order from the CRTC to compel Bell MTS to repair the service immediately. Who would like to make the resolution? Councillor McGregor. Would someone care to second it? Councillor Kushniryk. Questions, discussion? I think there's 14 people are impacted by this up there from the list they gave me.
You know, ours did that for a few years, and it happens every spring too, so.
Or when it rains.
Yeah, or when it rains hard, yeah, we get that too, where it could down for 3 days,
Yeah.
so it's not really just Alpine.
No, it's not.
I think there's a little bit special in Alpine. From what I understand, there's that box by the highway where the Alpine store used to be. There's something broken in it
Oh, okay.
that they keep going and they reset it, but they don't replace it, and so they all die again the next time that thing stops, from what I was told.
But they're right about no cells.
Well, and it needs to be fixed because they need an ambulance. They need a phone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got your cell phone, right?
Yeah, our cell phones work there.
Those in favor? That's carried. That brings us to committee reports. Let's start with Councillor Burick,
Oh
who has
my
many
goodness.
nice things to say.
Oh, many nice things to say, many nice things to say. Well, I'd like to say that I attended my first Benito Rec Center committee meeting. Reeve and I, we were both present, and I was really impressed. That's the first time I remember I've ever been in that facility. I think I've been there once before, but I don't know what it was for. But that was the first time I've ever been in there. I've driven by it probably hundreds of times, but Reeve and a few other guys kind of gave us a tour, gave me a tour of the building. I was really impressed. The rink, the curling rink, the hockey rink, the kitchen facility, upstairs lounge area, like, I mean, it's really something for a little community like Benito. And also, I was impressed with a lot of volunteer work. All the workers there are volunteer work almost, unless somebody said the rink people get paid.
Well, the ice makers get paid, they're used to it.
Yeah, but the organization of everything, all the social events that they have, it's all volunteer and it's well looked after. The meeting that we had, we went through the balance sheet, I guess, for last month, and they also had a little short agenda, but they're coming to our meeting on the 27th of January with a wish list. And there's a few things that they would like to upgrade maybe or something. We just want support from the municipality, from Swan Valley West. And they talked about events that are coming up. I guess there's a big bonspiel that's coming up, and they were planning that. There's going to be a big 50 years this year for that facility, 1976. So they're going to celebrate 50 years this year. They're planning a program for that too as well. And one of the things they're going to ask in the community, but pictures. If anybody has pictures of building the facility in '76. So I mean, if you know, if anybody, just, I don't know who, committee members or something, give it to them, eh? But they're planning a big celebration this year for 50 years in the Valley, like in Benito. But yeah, it was good, very good, and like I say, even the people around the table, I know a few of them by, it's kind of funny, there's one guy from Co-op, I said, "Who are you?" He says, "I talk to you all the time." I order fuel from him, or through them, and he works at Co-op at the petrol bar. And, but no, I was impressed with that facility. It's big for a little community like Benito. And I don't know who the gentleman was, but he told us that all that concrete in that building was by a cement mixer, like a little cement mixer. Like, not a big thing like we have now, but when they built it, it was all done by cement mixer. And the guy that did the troweling and all that, he worked around the clock. Like, it's a lot of concrete in there. But, no, it's something that we should really support, strongly encourage council to support that. And I was telling the Reeve that Swan River wants to build one. I thought it was 15 million, but you're saying 35 million.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot. And here we have one in our valley, and we should be supporting that instead of, yeah, it was good. And next meeting, I think they have one every month, first Monday, so it'll be first Monday in February, but they're coming here on the 27th of January with a wish list. And that's all the committees I had, and I just want to ask Council, are we thinking of hiring new people for the new year? We're short of help now. I've heard a lot of concerns that we're short of help. Should we be working on that process now instead of leaving it till March or something like that?
So we have one seasonal employee that's still at work, even though they're supposed to be off the 1st of November. That's hanging around. So at the moment, we're one extra from what we had scheduled. And then in budgeting, I suppose if we wish to change the number of spots, we could.
But we are short of help.
We have one extra person working than what the council budgeted for.
So we're going to discuss that in budget time?
Probably.
Okay, and I was going to say, I really liked that report that I got in my mail, 2025 recap. Very good, well put together.
Thank you.
Good read. I've heard a lot of people say it was a good read.
Good.
A lot of positive from that.
I don't think we got it in German.
Sure.
Didn't see it.
2025
I picked up the
update.
mail at the time.
Swan Valley West.
Weird. I got one in my mailbox there.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
Maybe you threw it out.
I think
No.
they came in our mail before you
I
did.
must
have needed something
I
on
think
the
before
fire.
you did.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe Joe has it in his truck.
But very good article. Very good read.
No,
You didn't
see?
get it either?
Yeah, I know. I don't think we did either, because he brings everything in the
Yeah, I
house.
thought Brian was special.
I am special.
Got off the list.
Are you done with your report, Councillor Burick? I know what it's like now to sit here and listen to a report for 50 minutes.
You owe me $1.
You obviously have something else on your
No, I think
mind.
that's it.
You're sure you're not?
If I think of it, I'll come back.
Interrupt someone? Okay.
Interrupt somebody. And thank you.
Councillor
I
Blosha.
have no committee reports yet.
Councillor Kushniryk. Councillor McGregor. Councillor Neely.
Nothing has been quiet.
Councillor Zbirun here.
Well, you guys have a quiet life. What's going on here?
Oh, you did all the talking, you took up to 10 minutes.
I hate to interrupt that love fest on the rink, but Valentine's Day is coming, so maybe.
No, Wednesday's coming.
I think there's a meeting that night.
No, there's no meeting. Postponing.
Alright, so a few things I've been working on. Earlier today I spoke to the chair of the Kenville Community Hall Board. There's an item in camera for that. I can share the public version. They have sent us a letter indicating they have run out of funds and are looking for funds. We'll discuss the specifics of that and our thoughts on that in camera. On Friday, I delivered a letter to an employee that also is in the in-camera section. A little earlier on in the week, we did some work with the water. We had failed to report our yearly water use for 2024 and 2025. So we found the records for that and filled out the appropriate government forms and got that sent away. That relates to how much water we draw out of the ground. We're supposed to tell them how many gallons a year we take from the aquifer. So we have done that. Did some work on some snow complaints that were coming in. Also did some work speaking to people about the Benito M&M Cafe. We did a whole nother round of media coverage of that over the break, as many outlets reported on selling the building for $1. And some people called to complain that we've never had crickets in the valley before and they don't think we should introduce a foreign pest to the area of some escape. I had to break their heart and tell them, we have crickets. We had to agree to disagree on that because they are certain we do not.
Go to bed.
Well, we got one over here on the map.
I know. I know.
It's stuck to the map over there.
I've had crickets in my yard.
I spent some time on Saturday the 3rd talking some of our employees off the ledge. I think that was mostly successful because none of them resigned that day, but that related to the union agreement. I have since then also spoken to the union about those concerns, and the union has, in no uncertain terms, said, I know you'll be surprised, that we're right in our interpretation of the agreement. And that relates to standby and overtime assignment. I spent a little time out at the water plant on Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. We had a little issue from the freezing of the well site that left a leak in the plant. And that was the day that the leak became bad enough it had to be repaired before we could go to our New Year's Eve celebrations. So I delivered parts from Swan because the folks were out there, so I brought them the parts to try and get us out of there a little sooner. Did Benito water meter reading towards the end of December. On the 27th of December, a little fun called a fire hydrant in Benito. Some of you may have heard, and perhaps even seen pictures of that one. And that takes us back quite blissfully to our previous meeting. Questions, comments, discussion before we move on any of that? The public works thing I alluded to earlier, if I've memorized this correctly, the 140 grader is in perfectly good working condition and has new tires on it. So it's nice, got nice traction, and is being used primarily for ridging, although it does do other things because the 160 is down. The one Durban unit had a hydraulic hose blown, we fixed that. It had a window falling out of it, we fixed that. It had a voltage error on it, which related to the alternator housing having cracked away from the mount, so we welded that all back together and it's fixed. It also has an issue with its AC, its not air compressor, it's air conditioning compressor. We have the new one here, but isn't needed till summer, so we'll install it at some point. The other Durban unit is working fine. And then the ones in Swan River, we have the 160, obviously the transmission, and the one with the turbo. The one with the turbo is still being used. So we're going to take it out of service and change the turbo. But otherwise, we have 4 or 5 machines working right now for the most part, which is kind of nice to see. We've been fighting ice the last day or two, as you can imagine, trying to get that a little bit. It's tough going, but we had places where we couldn't get up hills anymore, so the guys have been out trying to do that. Councillor Zbirun.
I did have a couple phone calls, or one guy came to see me. St. Matthew Street is not getting graded.
Oh, okay, let's put that on the list and we'll remind them that it exists.
And,
That seems to get forgotten.
And he said the grader used to back down it and push everything to the south so that it's not in their driveways, eh?
Okay, let's write that down too.
And and this one woman told me, if you're driving by and it looks like it's open, she said it's open on the east side,
But not
but on the west side, she says we're usually blown in.
Okay.
And she started getting some medical conditions, so she needs
To get out.
Get out.
Okay, we will talk to Public Works about that in the morning.
Good.
I did inquire if we still have ice blades. We think we have one set, but we don't have them on anything right now. We're probably not going to put them on unless this continues. I'm kind of hoping it snows and we get enough snow on top of the ice that becomes less slippery, but we'll see what happens. Anything else? All right. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be discussing in camera some HR matters, those fines, the Kenville Community Center. We have a ratepayer concern, which is going to in camera to get a ruling. And we're going to have a little talk about shared services with the town of Swan River, because nothing spices up a meeting like a conversation like that will. But all of that, when we return. For now, we will be in recess for about 10 minutes. So we'll head to 14.1 in camera. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 1523, the Municipal Act Council should be as a committee of the whole Close the meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, preliminary discussions, investigation, or enforcement of an act or bylaw. Who would like to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, who would like to second? Councillor Kushniryk. Any discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Give you the in-camera session. We've given direction to staff on a couple matters and reviewed a couple others. We'll be in touch with the Kenville Community Center to inform them of a decision about their request for money to pay the hydro bill. Are there any resolutions arising from in-camera discussions? Does anyone have a notice of motion they wish to present tonight? Moving to number 16, be it resolved, this meeting shall now adjourn at 9:39 p.m. Be it further resolved, the next meeting is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Moved by? Which one was
Whichever
first?
you pick.
She got it last time, so it's my turn.
How come I can't adjourn the meeting?
Neely,
You're not fast
I'm
enough.
not fast.
seconded by Councillor Blosha. I figured I'd just let you two sort it out. When you let me know who it is, I'll write it down. Those in favor of the resolution? That is carried.
It's all good.
It's always fun.